Another player, Aaron, that Liverpool have just recently signed is obviously he's a very good young goalkeeper. You'll know a lot more than me, mate, but I think Liverpool fans out there will be wanting to find out a bit more in terms of this, a very young goalkeeper. Can you, firstly, I do apologise on the pronunciation. How for Liverpool fans, how do we pronounce it? Obviously, is it Pesci? Is it?
Pécsi.
Pécsi, yeah,
Pécsi,
Pécsi as well. Yeah, so there you go, Reds. I'm similar. I've done a couple of shows on Florian Wirtz, and I had a couple of German telling me obviously it's pronounced Wirtz. So obviously I'm still learning as well. I want to try and get it as best as I possibly can. So obviously a new young goalkeeper. You wrote obviously an article recently as well, the making of Armin Pecsi as well recently. What was the most interesting things that you found out about him when you wrote that article as well, Aaron?
Right. So I sometimes write these so that people who do not like, why would you know about this guy in the Hungarian first division? It's out of nowhere, this signing. I'm baffled that this happened. I'm happy, obviously, but it's such an oddity. So when I write these things, then I'm usually focusing on the story, like why is he where he is now? Where did he start from? All these sort of things. With Pecci, I have a few things that I find very, very interesting. The first thing is that if you read that article, that he was also a striker at the same time until he was 12. He played sometimes as a striker, sometimes as a goalkeeper. And at that point, the coaches told him that, like, okay, mate, now we have to make a decision. This can't go on forever. It's at a certain age you have to decide. And the reason I'm bringing this in is that, from what I understand from his answer, is that it was his decision. So it wasn't like, oh, I have to talk to my parents, or let me discuss it with a couple of coaches or friends or family. He sat down. It's sort of my idea of how it went down. So, but the way he phrased it, it really sounds like it was. He sat down, thought about it, and he was like, "Yeah, I can be a really good goalkeeper. So whether I like being a striker or a goalkeeper doesn't really matter." I assume he chose the one where he would get the most success out of. So that's really interesting to me. But he also played futsal, which is indoors football. Just for the audience's sake, it's a very quick-paced football. A lot of pressing is involved. So sort of it helps ball control and a lot of press resistance in general. So that the idea of a goalkeeper who has that background, I don't know about you, but that does sound really exciting to me in today's game, especially. So I would say these things are the most fascinating to me in him.
Yeah, that's yeah. As you said, it's in the modern era. I think we've seen over the last 10 years. Obviously, well, the OG for me, obviously for all of us in terms of goalkeeping, was obviously Manuel Neuer. He's one of the best with the ball at his feet, and obviously Edison over the last 10 years. But let's hope, obviously, Liverpool's new Hungarian goalkeeper can do something similar as well, mate. Got a couple of questions in regards to that as well in a sec. But in terms of Aaron, it was the reported fee 1.5 million in around. Is that, from your understanding, is that an accurate fee in and around that region, a transfer fee for the goalkeeper?
I think it has to be just a tiny little bit more, because the club said that it's a club record fee. And back in, I don't even remember when, they sold Roland Shalai from the national team as well. And by now we know that he was 2 million euros. So it had to be just a little bit more. Let me ask you a question, actually. Do you think that's a lot for him?
It's in terms of the young players. I don't know. Obviously, in European football, I think we had Dominic Solanke. I think remember when we had similar. Obviously, when we brought him in, I think Harvey Elliott as well. I don't think that's in terms of Premier League, the amount of money, Aaron. Do you think that obviously the selling club could have? I personally that it might be a lot for a lot of European clubs, but not for a Premier League side. I don't feel. Because if you're buying like a potential future talent of Hungarian national side as well, and with the report, I'll ask you in a sec as well that you probably mentioned. Obviously, he's got a big foundation, big like people behind him that want to push him on to achieve better. But I don't think it's a lot, but it might be a lot for certain other clubs and certain other countries as well. Because obviously the wealth of talent, Aaron, the money in the Premier League, especially for Liverpool. How do you feel with that?
So the reason I asked you this, because if we take 2 million euros as a fee, it's around like top 10 selling from the Hungarian league, like all time. So for us, it's a really big transfer fee. But the whole story, for me, it's not really the money is exciting about this, but again, the fact that there's so much data and statistics that a club like Liverpool said, wow, that guy is really good, even though he plays in a poor league from a Premier League perspective, and we don't have a very good track record, so to speak, to like sell players in top leagues. There's only a few players going out. It's rare that we can sell players for a really good sum. And for Hungarian clubs, like around 1 and 2 million euros is like, yeah, we made a good profit of this player. So for us, it's a big money, but also the fact that, again, this is the winner of the Premier League that just knocks on the door of a Hungarian club. It feels like there's a few steps that we just skipped. And you have to have done something really good for that to happen to you.
Yeah, and hopefully, obviously, there might be a bit of a good relationship going forward potentially as well, Aaron. I think that's what a lot of, especially Liverpool, I think, obviously, with our hierarchy in terms of obviously Richard Hughes, sporting director, and obviously Michael Edwards, they're very renowned in terms of as you'll know, Aaron, and a lot of Liverpool fans, the data departments in terms of scouting, they do so much, vast amount of research. But I personally feel, I think it only bode well, Aaron, for a lot of Hungarian clubs, especially the club that we just bought them from, and to just reinvest that money. And I know certainly you'll know that money will get well spent in terms of the academy structure, and it'll just go a long way in terms of hopefully building a lot more up and coming prospects for his previous club as well. Would you say?
We'll see. I don't want to get into politics too much, but just for the sake of the audience, it's the Puskás Academy is pretty much the Prime Minister's club, and even though the name has academy, there's a lot of older foreign players as well. But the infrastructure is really, really good there. So I'm sure they will reinvest the money in some way, maybe one or two good players, maybe in infrastructure. But there's some undeniable nepotism there as well. So you never know where this money goes to. From my perspective, the importance to me is really to see this kid go the long way, because he's really, really good. He played. I mean, he's a guy who got into the first team, like in the goal, when he was 19 years old.
Yeah, I was going to. Sorry, Darren. I was going to say, in terms of, could you just give us a bit more? I think you're going to mention it as well. Just obviously, how well has his season been in regards to, in terms of getting the move? Like obviously they did finish second. Is it obviously the club he's just come from? How well has his season been?
He's been really, really good. The interesting thing to me is that when you think of great goalkeepers, you usually imagine like these huge saves and massive moments where it's like, whoa, he single-handedly saved the team for conceding or something like this. But in his case, he has really good reflexes. He's an excellent shot stopper. But the most interesting thing to me is that he had one or two of these moments, but it was mainly his consistency. And again, this is a kid who just got into senior football out of nowhere, and he just ran with it. He was very consistent. He's very mature for his age. You never felt like, oh, this is a kid that is struggling with all these like big muscular strikers or whichever players that are attacking his goal. He just matched them almost immediately. So that was something that I found really, really impressive.
Yeah.
And the more I think about him, the more I'm realizing that he's just been so good consistently. There's a lot of numbers. I don't want to bore you with so many statistics, but he had the most saves.
Yeah.
He had the most oh, yeah, the word escapes me, but you know, the post shot xG, he saved like 14 goals more than he was supposed to be. So there are some crazy good numbers right there. And the way he usually describes all how he's training, he's putting effort into a lot of areas, like reading the game, like when to get involved, how to make decisions. And it pays off really, really well when you just sit down and watch one of his games. You can tell that he did his homework to, like, oh, so he is going to shoot if he gets to the box, and then you can see that he's ready. And then obviously you can't save every shot, and obviously you can't win every game. But the fact that he just came in and just immediately became one of the best goalkeepers in the league at such a young age, there's a lot of people who want him to be at the national team already, because he is very, very talented. We can see that he's really, really good. We know Gulaci is no longer available because he decided to step down, and the other guy, Dibus, that we have is at the same age. So sooner or later, you're gonna need new faces to step up and be like, "Hey, I'm the new guy. Give me anything. I'll do it." And he's a guy who definitely has the potential to do something special for us.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I think you've answered me final question there as well. See,
Sorry.
Peter Galacci. It's all good. No, it's all good. Yeah, don't apologise. Yeah, obviously, I was going to ask you about Peter Galacci, but you obviously alluded to. You've already mentioned obviously all of his qualities as well, Red. So that was Aaron's analysis on obviously Liverpool's new young goalkeeper. And let's hope. Obviously, you've mentioned his great skill sets, and as I said, especially with his ball playing at the back in terms of coming out at the back, we're obviously under immense pressure, as you alluded to there. And I think he's got a lot of his, and hopefully one for the future. I think Liverpool have got and I think even if he in the future as well, where he gets the opportunity of training with the likes of Alisson, Becker, obviously Mavrashvili as well, obviously the Georgian goalkeeper coming in now as well. So I think being in that environment, I think historically Liverpool, obviously another goalkeeper you know, Aaron, is obviously Yaros, obviously, yeah. So we've got a very good core of goalkeepers, and I think he'll be a fantastic addition, obviously to Liverpool, and I think it just only bode well for him. And let's hope he can break into the Hungarian national team on a full-time basis, because that will only help his development as well.